Hey YouTube, what is up? The DDD structure deck finally came out here in the TCG. It's been a long time coming, pretty much a year and a half late at this point, but either way the deck finally came out in the TCG and we finally get to play it a week before Zodiacs basically drop. So here we go. This is my deck profile for my DDDs. I play one Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok. This card is great because if it's in the Pendulum Zone and you special summon a DD to your field, you get to special summon another DD from your graveyard, but then you have to pay 1,000 life points. That's not so bad though, considering the fact that you can special summon to Arc to trigger Ragnarok, and then you get to special summon another DD monster, and you get to go plus 1,000 life points. So you basically start off your combo with 9,000 life points and 2 DDs on field, and 1 in the scale. It's not a bad card to use at all, and considering the fact that its monster effect is very strong as well, I really enjoy this card. If you normal summon it or special summon it, you can special summon a DDD monster from your graveyard. That's really good because the DDD monsters are the stronger ones. They're your Gengises, your D'Arcs, your Hexbloods, your King Alexanders, your Beowulfs, and your King Kaisers. So this card pretty much can bring back any of your boss monsters just by normal or special summoning it, which is really easy to do. And on top of that, it has another effect, which is to tribute a DD monster on your side of the field. You can then target and banish one of your opponent's monsters. That's a really strong card that has a lot of good effects, and that's why I like to use it. Its attack isn't that great, 2200, but its defense is 3000, which is great, and it's a level 8, so you can use it to make a rank 8 if you really wanted to. I play one Newton because this card basically allows you to discard it and then add any DD or contract card from your graveyard to your hand, and that's what you want. I run it at 1 because it's easily searchable. If you don't have the card you need in hand, you can search this card out, then just pluck the card you want from your graveyard and put it back in your hand. As long as your opponent doesn't have DD Crow, you're pretty much golden. I run one DD Orthos because if it's already in your scale, it can out something like an anti-spell, or if it's not in your scale, you can use it to out something like a Vanity's Emptiness. It allows you to pretty much get over a Floodgate or 2 simply by popping a Dark Contract or DD monster you control, which isn't that bad. It has to be in your scale already to out anti-spell though, like I said, so that's a little disappointing, but either way, the fact that I can pop Vanity's Emptiness with this card is really good, though you might want to consider running something like a Twin Twister. Personally, I don't, because I think it would slow the deck down a little too much. On top of that, I played 2 Copernicus because this deck thrives by having cards in the graveyard, and this card, when is normal or special summoned, sends a DD or Dark Contract card from your deck to the graveyard. So you can send your Lamias to the graveyard, you can send your Necro Slimes to the graveyard, you can send your Swirl Slimes to pretty much open up any combo you want, and then on top of that, it's a DD monster, so you can use it to bring out any of the fusions if you really wanted to. I play one Junk Synchron as my little spicy tech for this deck because this card can bring back a Swirl Slime, and you can basically turn that into a TG Hyper Librarian. It's a really good way to start off your combos, so from there you can get Hyper Librarian and then Synchro a ton and draw a bunch of cards, and if you draw a bunch of cards, you usually draw into something like a Strike, a Warning, or a Vanity's Emptiness, which is never a bad thing to have, which basically gives you like 3 or 4 hard negates for your opponent to try and get over, and usually they can't, just off of this one little normal summon, which allows you to extend just that little inch further. I played 2 Max C because this format pretty much demands it. Everything special summons, and if you're going second, you're going to want a Max C in hand. So playing Max C doesn't hurt. Some people side it. I can understand why. It hurts the consistency a slight amount by main decking it, but if you're going second, this is probably the best thing you could draw. So that's why I still like to run 2. There were times where I've Max C'd my opponent and they had to get their combo off, otherwise they would have lost. I basically started with 9 cards in hand. I normal summoned Junk Synchron and then special summoned back Max C and turned that into a Hyper Librarian, and then I just styled on them. I run 3 Swirl Slime because this card is basically polymerization from the hand, and then you can banish it from your graveyard to special summon any DD in your hand, which is great. This allows you to pretty much utilize Lamia 3 times in one turn if you get the right cards in hand. I like to run 3 Necro Slime because it's the optimal card to send to the graveyard with Swirl Slime, and it's also a polymerization from your graveyard, so you banish the Swirl Slime and the Necro Slime, and you get to special summon another fusion monster from your extra deck, which is great. I then also play 3 Lamia because Lamia is what this deck needed the most. A DD specific tuner that can special summon itself from the graveyard is great. You can actually bring it out 3 times in one turn if you have Where Artho in hand and a Swirl Slime in the graveyard. So I really do like Lamia. It lets you just make any play you really want, and it's pretty much how you go into Crystal Wing, King Siegfried, any of your synchros. I used to play DDDs with just Glow Bulb, and that was really rough. Now that we have Lamia, the deck really is a lot more consistent and a lot quicker at pumping out incredibly strong boards. I play Glow Bulb because this is just another way to get another level 1 tuner to the field, and the fact that it can special summon itself by basically milling a card from the top of your deck to the graveyard is great because your cards love being in the graveyard. If you mill something like a Swirl Slime or a Necro Slime, it's never a bad thing, and that's why I like to use Glow Bulb. Also, if you get to go first and you use your Glow Bulb in the mirror match, they can't use theirs because Glow Bulb is literally once per duel, so they can only normal summon Glow Bulb or 1 for 1 into the field, but they can't bring it back from the graveyard, and that's really good because Glow Bulb is a way to bring out a lot of bigger monsters, especially a Crystal Wing. I play 3 Kepler because it searches out all your Dark Contracts, most notably probably probably the one that searches out any other monster. I play 2 Allure of Darkness just to thin through my deck. If I end up with an unusable hand of, let's say, I don't know, Junk Synchron, 2 Copernicus, and an Orthos, I can use Allure of Darkness to get to the key combo cards I need, and I can get rid of doubles in my hand if I have to. You can also bring those cards back with something like Omega, so you never really lose the cards. I also play 1 1-for-1 because it allows you to special summon your Lamia, your Glowbulb, or your Kepler in a really extreme instance, and it basically just allows you to discard at the same time, which sets you up for more graveyard plays. I play 1 Raigeki in tandem with a Maxi in case I am going second. If you get Raigeki, a board wipe is never a bad thing to throw down on your opponent, and especially considering the fact that next format is Zodiacs, they really do lose hard to board wipes and stuff like that, so Raigeki is never a bad thing to have. I also use 3 Pot of Desires because banishing in this deck doesn't do shit. You play 3 of all your key combo pieces anyway, so you really do need that +1 at times to make the almost unbreakable board. So basically, Pot of Desires just lets you get to that. If you banish a card you really need and you can make an Omega, you can still bring those cards back, so there really is no loss from activating Pot of Desires. If you draw Pot of Desires twice though, obviously that sucks, but you play 3 so you can hopefully see it in your opening hand to extend a little further, and that's why I like to run 3. I run Where Art Thou because it allows you to search out your level 1s, which you do play a lot of. You could search out a Necroslime, Lamia, Glowbulb, or Kepler really easily, and if you normal summon them, that's great. If you don't, you lose 2,000 life points, but that's not that bad considering the fact that you run King to Arc in this deck, so you can actually gain 2,000 life points by not normal summoning that monster. I play 1 Dark Contract with Yamanaki because it allows you to put pendulum cards that are in your graveyard back into your pendulum zones to continue to abuse their pendulum effects, most notably probably King Abyss Ragnarok, but Kepler isn't that bad either. I then also use 3 Dark Contract with the Gate because this searches out any other monster in your fucking deck, so it's great. It searches out any DD you need at the right time, and it's once per turn, so you can use it every turn. People tend to kind of forget that, and it does burn you for 1,000, but once again, if you tie that with the Arc, you actually gain 1,000, so that's not really a bad thing. I play 1 Swamp King because this allows you to extend. If you have a Necroslime and a Swamp King, you get to fuse from your graveyard pretty much twice in one turn, and that's a really strong play to be able to do. I play 1 Vanity's Emptiness because this can lock your opponent out, and if you use it at the right time, it interrupts a combo and makes them pretty much unplayable. I play 1 Dark Contract with the Witch because it's Raigeki Break, and on top of that, your monsters gain 1,000 on your opponent's turn. I also play 2 Strikes and 1 Warning because I like to run Hyper Librarian, and I usually see them if I do bring out a Hyper Librarian. If you have 3 monsters that negate spells, traps, and monster effects, and then you have a Solemn Strike or Solemn Warning set on top of that, it's pretty much an unwinnable game for your opponent, so that's why I like to use them. I play 1 King Kaiser Ragnarok because this card allows you to pretty much anytime it's involved in battle, just bounce a Dark Contract or DD monster you control to your hand, and then you get to one of your opponent's monsters and equip it to this card. That's really good. If you steal A, B, or C, it does get the equipped effect, which is really good as well. You can even steal your opponent's Alcahest if you really wanted to be a dirty bastard about it. Even though you might not want to bring it out every turn, when you want to bring it out, it does actually do a lot. It does help break your opponent's board in a very specific way that without it, I think the deck wouldn't be as strong. I play 1 Beowulf because it gives you piercing battle damage, and it allows you to basically heavy storm the field on your standby phase, which is great. I play 2 Arc because you really need your life points in this deck, and this is a way to get them back or even go plus, which is great. I play 2 because usually I use 1 to go into something like Hexblade King Siegfried, but I like to keep a second one on the field just to not game myself pretty much by losing life points in my standby phase. I play 2 Genghis because Genghis is a combo opener. It's pretty much the one thing you rely on the most in this deck, so I play 2. You really do need 2. If you want to bump it up to 3, I could see that being a possibility. If you did that, I'd probably take out something like Formula Synchron, but either way, this card allows you to go insanely plus, and it allows you to pretty much start every combo off, so you really do need to run at least 2. I play 1 Trishula because it's a card to bring out at the end of your combo. It's a way to hurt your opponent even more on top of all the monster negates and the spell negates that you have. I play 1 Crystal Wing because it's a really easy monster to bring out in this deck, and a monster effect negate is really strong, especially in next format, so it's not a bad card. Obviously, it loses to Kaiju or Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, Dark Hole Raigeki, but you can actually stop those really easily because you run spell negates and spell and trap negates. So there's a way to protect your Crystal Wing, and you can build a very strong board with a lot of negates, and Crystal Wing is just one of them. I play 1 Omega just to rip my opponent's hand. You can rip 2 from your opponent's starting hand with Trishula and Omega, which is a great combo to be able to do. And Omega allows you to recur stuff that you lost to the banished zone, put it back in your graveyard, and keep going. You can put your Lamias back in the graveyard and extend your plays from there. And when Omega goes to the graveyard, you put other stuff back into your deck as well, so it's not a bad card at all. I play 1 Alexander because this is what allows you to go into Crystal Wing, and it also allows you to extend your plays. Special summoning Enchain Alexander and Genghis, and they trigger off each other, is a really strong play to do. I already explained Hyper Librarian, but you pretty much just draw a shit ton for synchro summoning, which is what this deck loves to do. I also play 1 Formula Synchron because it allows you to synchro on your opponent's opponent's turn. Basically, you get to trick your opponent on their turn, which is great. And when you use this card or bring it out when you have a Hyper Librarian on the field, you go +2, and that's never a bad thing. On top of that, I play one King Kali Yugi because it basically negates all effects of other cards on the field when it's brought out. And on top of that, you can detach one card to basically wipe the field of spell and traps. That's a really strong thing to be able to do. And I play one Titanic Galaxy because this basically is one of the best ways you can negate spells in this deck, considering you run a lot of level 8s, and if you don't have a use for half of them, you can turn them into a really good spell negate. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'd like to hear your opinion on if you think DDDs is a little too late. I personally do think so, and I actually sold most of my cards for the DDD deck because I plan on playing Zodiacs in a week when it actually does come out. I want to hear your opinions, though. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this deck and how strong you think it is at this point. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to give this video a like and click subscribe because it's free, it's fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.